Am I on drugs? What's happening here? Okay, that's corrected.
Uh, okay.
I might be on so much meth right now. Hold on. And then well, sorry my voice sounds like a robot right now, guys. Had a little bit of a microphone issue, kind of an input thing. It was inputting my microphone twice. Well, that's why this wall is screwed up in here, is because that measurement was off.
Yeah.
I made some
I might
small error.
think it might be fixed. Let me see.
So one of our first jobs for this whole rebuild was to correct a couple errors I made back in 2019 or 2020 when I initially made this build. Obviously, because it was not in creative, it was a survival world, I wasn't able to get up in the air above the build to see if it was a perfect circle or not. So that had to be corrected. Any thoughts on the staircase?
Um, well, I was thinking maybe we could raise the centerpiece like all the way up, or at least in certain parts, make it like go up, maybe even tower-like, and then it could run through here and kind of go down through there maybe.
I don't think I totally understand what you're saying, but I'm willing to give it a try. What I said was true. I had no clue what he was talking about, but it did work out pretty well. So the first job for this bit is figure out like a... Lost my train of thought. I'm pulling a Biden. I've just become Joe Biden trying to record a Minecraft video. Well, see, the first thing that you need to know is you want to find a design for your wall, because when we were doing we have to find like a you know, palette of colors for like a color palette. If you find a color palette for the wall, then you just make the whole wall out of wall. But no, really, you do need a good color palette for this. You need blocks that are going to go well together to create your tower and create like supports, different layers of blocks to add depth. We've talked about this in other episodes. Obviously, if you use blocks that all kind of clash with each other, like they're not complementing colors, it's going to be kind of ugly. Actually, I've never tried it, but you might actually be able to use a color wheel to try to figure out what blocks are going to complement each other in Minecraft. Obviously, that won't account for textures, but you might be able to use a color wheel. I mean, there's some very obvious ones, like blue and yellow tend to look good together, and like black and white, those are colors that are just going to go well together.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
For now, at least. If we come up with a better idea, we can always change it.
Fair enough. So if you watch the first season of this building series, you probably have noticed that Jacob and I tend to build in a lot of natural colors, grays, browns, greens, and I've been trying to come up with an answer for why we build like that, and the only thing I can come up with is that there are a ton of blocks with those colors, because Minecraft is kind of a natural blocks game, and then the other one is we live in the woods, so everything that's around us is like gray, brown, green, other random dirt colors like red clays, very earthy tones. I like how we went. I was like, oh, how do we get rid of these stairs? And then our whole thing is like, oh, well, let's build a tower.
Yeah, build a whole tower to get rid of the stairs. Okay, I guess, wait. I have to figure out the pattern. Alright. See, this goes up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So do we just keep going up 1, 2, 3 then? Will that even work, actually?
I don't know if that would work. There may have to be like kind of
One,
a
two,
middle
three.
area that like is the majority of the tower, you know what I mean?
Actually, that would work, but I don't know if we want to do that. It might look kind of odd.
Oh, it does work. Oh, what in the world? Oh.
Yeah, oddly enough.
I mean,
But I don't know if we want to. It might kind of look odd. I don't know. Hard to say
I
at
mean,
this
it's
point.
gonna have like, yeah. Let's build it. Apparently, my boss at work, his name's Chris. He's an okay guy. Apparently he's like also an Adventure Time buff, which is strange to have around. So he and I were just quoting episodes. Like the last shift he and I worked together, we just quoted episodes the whole time. And he also knows like regular show and The Amazing World of Gumball. So just like everything I used to watch. I'm going to be honest, it is kind of ridiculous that we wanted to get rid of a staircase and now we're building an entire tower. Jacob and I's childhood was kind of like that too, while I was living next door to him. We had this like Power Wheels truck, which is one of those little things that kids ride around in. And the one day the motor stopped working, so our answer was to take a hammer and bash the motor out of it and then take it down mountains.
This might be weird looking, but I just want to try it. And if for the last ring we put out one like that.
That would probably look okay. Add a little bit of layering, like depth. So here I'm going through and just adding some extra details, stuff we missed, the borders to like the paths here. Getting rid of these poorly placed farm fences, I don't know what I was thinking. And just generally preparing for the next stage of the build.
And this is a crazy looking staircase building.
Yes, it is. And that's pretty much literally what it is just like, oh, this is the fix to the staircase problem.
Okay, there we go. I think I've got the pillars all set up.
Now, my question is, can we do the same thing with the floors in here? Because it looked good down there that it was divided up, but this one doesn't have as much of a divider.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it, see if it works.
I always insist on doing something like this when it could just have gone up easily.
Well, see, that's what makes you a good builder, is that you actually try. Because most people would have just said, yeah, just like make it go up and then chop it off. So now the next challenge to tackle is to create a way to actually get down, because we wanted this as a quote-unquote staircase building, but staircases aren't really going to work here, because to keep everything even, there needs to be 4 of them. And 4 staircases are not going to fit inside of this building, and it would be pretty hard to get them to come down in an area where it would be convenient for them to land and there is not a door. The big issue that Jacob and I were having a second ago is that for some reason water source blocks do not work at all in the way that he and I remember them working. We're not really sure what's going on there, but they were just kind of going all over the place. Then I was suggesting ladders, and ladders seemed kind of lame. Like, even I thought it was lame, but I didn't know what else to do. So Jacob actually spent a good long while trying to figure out a design, but through the power of video editing, he'll figure it out any moment. So that's the design that Jacob is coming up with right now. It's honestly giving me, like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory vibes. You remember when that really, really bratty chick got sucked up the pipe? That was pretty funny. Actually, I don't think there's much on this planet that enrages me more than that chick did.
Also, what do you think of like the glass? Do we use normal glass, stained glass, or maybe even like the oxidized copper? Not oxidized, like wax copper grate? Or just normal glass that I have there?
I feel like, because we're planning on making this glass, unless we use that new copper crap to make like some kind of like really cool looking dome with that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was thinking probably the glass, because I mean, this looks, it's like grating, like it should go through it, like in my brain.
Yeah.
So now that Jacob has a finished prototype, we got to copy it to the other 3 corners. Actually, I think what I liked most about his design was it implemented some lighting, so we were basically able to use that to just light up the room. Because I really wasn't looking forward to trying to figure out some lighting system to make this place, like, adequately lit so you could see everything and it felt as big as it was. But he figured it out. Just implemented it on what already had to be there. So that was sick. So here's another 25 seconds of Jacob and I trying to figure out water source blocks. Dude, they changed something really important, and I can't really tell what it is, but it just is not working the way we thought it should. Like, I thought that kelp was supposed to kind of keep it in place or something. Maybe that was a glitch and they fixed it. I don't know, but I just remember it working differently somehow. Anyways, here I go doing some little odds and ends, trying to do detailing while Jacob figures out the roof. I'll tell you what, we kept trying to come up with designs for the roof, but by the end of this video, we will not have built any of the roof. The roof just did not want to get built. Neither Jacob or I are quite sure how to put a roof on this Leaning Tower of Pisa Colosseum freaking Roman-looking build we've created. We actually do quite a bit more with it before the video ends, but we just never decided on how we actually are going to put a roof on the place. If anybody has any suggestions, please in the comments describe. So while Jacob tries and fails on the roof, I decide to go over and start my habitats. So the idea for this build was that in the kind of off, diagonal corners of the build, there was going to be, habitat tanks and fish tanks, and I only got to one, just because I was busy in the world, But there were supposed to be 4, one for each diagonal corner. And I actually was building these originally out of kind of a nostalgia trip I was on. I was remembering back to the time when I was younger, where I actually had habitat tanks. I had one for toads and frogs, that kind of thing, because I used to really like toads and frogs and stuff. I would feed them flies and fireflies and stuff. It was cool. You can really only keep a wild toad or a wild frog in captivity for so long before it dies, so I used to kind of take them in and hang out and take care of them for, 6 months or something and then let them go. And then later on after that, I had a normal fish tank, one for fish, and I would catch fish out of the stream and the river near me, and I would keep them and feed them normal fish food, and they just acted like fish you would get from the store. The only thing that was really different about them is they were pretty aggressive. If one of them was sick or whatever, they'd pummel the fish to death and eat it. Also, when I got more advanced later on and my tank started really taking care of itself, I got snails and then crayfish and stuff, and then it started its own ecosystem and kind of just existed without me doing anything. The only thing I do is put fish food in there, and then everything else would just kind of survive off the habitat, because the snails would just reproduce into oblivion, and then the crayfish would just eat any dead snails or anything that was left, and the snails ate the algae, and it was just fine. So back in Minecraft, Jacob was getting super bored, and I had to go AFK for a moment.
Thank you. Alright, let's do some magic. There we go.
Let me fly up here, hold on. Oh my gosh.
Lightning tornado.
So we're back to it. We're making another habitat. This one's all tropical fish, warm ocean stuff. I'm going to start off by putting some coral in here. One thing I need to do with some of the other habitats is go back and add some more natural lighting blocks. There's other lighting that I could have used for pretty much every single one. I mean, the redstone lamps work well enough, I guess, but I think a little more light would make them a little more cheery. Not that that would please Jacob any, judging by what he says next.
I would just shove a bunch of cats in here and make them so they can't drown.
Put a bunch of cats underwater.
Yeah.
They're just eternally suffering. They drown forever.
Yeah, and I won't give them I won't give them endless water breathing. I'll give them endless regeneration or something like that.
That's messed up. It's just eternally suffering cats.
Yep.
Here's our Hell on Earth exhibit. So this one, the hot side, and the frogs, and the red. This and the kind of medium color. You know what we actually could do is put a little bit of nether on one side and a little bit of lava, and have some of those strider things.
Oh yeah.
That made you
Lava.
so excited. You're like, yeah, lava. Let's do it.
Lava horses.
Jacob, his entire life, has liked things that are really visually weird. So of course he would love weird bulbous creatures on 2 legs that basically function as a lava horse. Those visual designers at Mojang did a line of coke before they designed this one. Or a line of something stronger. Okay. Bring in the Striders.
Let's go, boys. They're ugly.
They're kind of ugly. They're funny, though. Look at little boy.
Yeah.
I reckon we have, yeah, like 2 of them.
That guy's even
Get in-
uglier.
Get in the lava, you're
old.
cold. There you go. Dang, guys, it's the end of the episode. If you want to watch more, there is more on the way. There's a whole nother season of this you can go watch already. That one was like a water and mountain edge build. It was really interesting. It was a very old world that Jacob and I were redesigning. The world was from 2017, I guess. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and I will catch the next one. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.
Wait,
Oh,
so it's
please
only
come
us
off
and
first
another
now, I
team.
think.
So
Oh, wait.
Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
You missed! Oh.
You missed! So AIDS. What have we done?
I don't miss, Isaiah.
Yeah, there's a... Oh! I survived. Who did that? Oh, it's that guy.
I just saved you so hard.
Well, no, I jumped back on
Got
the
him.
thing itself.
Haha! Yo!
Oh,
They must be so
that was
mad right
mine!
now.
That was my kill! We're in a kill stealer for real.
We need
They just said,
we need
don't know.
major help
You
here.
never know.
Major help. Oh, E-Pearl! E-Pearl!
Oh
I knew
my
that was
God.
coming, but